Hello, this is Alan Paul here, and I have a big box from Gibsons with, well, I presume it says Kingmaker on the label, so it must be Kingmaker in the box. So I thought I'd open it and see what's actually in here and share it with you all. It's quite a big box because I think I've got more than one product in here. I believe I've got a copy of the Jigsaw as well as the game itself. So we'll just slice it on. This has been actually a long time in the making for me. I started this in 2019, and this is the culmination of a massive period for me. And so I'll just savour the whole thing. Oh, inside we have another box. So this is going to be like a Russian doll, I think, but let's just get this out. Yeah. Oh, this is quite big. Yeah, I don't actually know how this was packed, so we'll just see. We have a little thank you backers. Thank you backers notice. Oh, very nice looking thing. We truly appreciate your support in funding this project. With thanks to Gibsons Kingmaker team. I suppose that ought to have my thanks on it as well. And oh, I have special edition, unique numbered 0444. Well, that's very good. That was unexpected. I didn't know it was coming. Let's put that over there. So we've now got a massive box. Ah, right. Now you see, I've got 3 copies. And let's just start with the peripherals, because there's this tote bag. Ooh, that's rather splendid. Let's move the box down a bit. You can see the tote bag. This is the tote bag, which look at that. It's rather splendid picture. I'm not sure if we can get that in front of there. Look at that. That's rather good. Kingmaker, the game of the Wars of the Roses. Oh yes, I love that. That's really nice. Big enough just about to take the game box. And on the other side, it has the crown symbol on it. So tote bag, that's very nice. Let's get that at the moment. And I'm going to save the actual game till last, because in here we've also got, look at this. This is special edition 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. As Gibsons are a puzzle manufacturer, we can add this to the collection. My wife Charlie does lots of jigsaws, but you know, oh look, made for you by Gibson, made for me especially. I think we might actually do that together. So there we go. Exclusive 1,000 piece jigsaw, only available to those who have backed our Kickstarter. So it's extra special puzzle, made in the UK from 100% recycled board. All the best, Gibsons Kingmaker team. There we go. So I'll just open the box. There. And there we are, just to prove that it is actually a jigsaw. You can see those pieces in there. Oh gosh, this is going to be quite a difficult one, because there's quite a lot of interesting bits of picture in there that we're going to have to do. So let's put that back in its box and put that away for the moment, and then we'll go to the main event, shall we? Here we have, this is the thing. This is the veritable game that I've been designing and longing for a very long time indeed. And here it is. Notice it's not shrink wrap, because we're not using single-use plastic for this. And we have a rather magnificent piece of artwork on the box cover. Playtime 2 to 6 hours. That's because it's covering Kingmaker 2, which is the new version I developed, all the way up to the extended classic, which adds in lots and lots of pieces and uses the old original rules, so you can get stalemates. We have a side of the box, another side. Let's look at the back. And here, I have of course seen this before, because I've seen it in proofs, but I haven't actually seen the final version. It looks rather splendid. There's the whole list of the components. And for those that are interested there, development, Alan Paul, that's my name. And Steve Froud, my friend Steve Froud, who did this other game design, Matt Edwards, who did the illustrations, and of course, Andrew McNeil, who was the original designer. May he rest in peace. So, I hope this is a fitting tribute Andrew McNeil. So without further ado, let's just see what's in the box. Now, should be just lift the lid off, I hope. Has it got a... Oh, it's... Ah, now you see, it's got little things to hold it down at the side. So we'll carefully snip that. And presumably on the other side as well. So minimal use of plastic, see? It's ecologically friendly. Okay, and now let's have a look inside. So let's put this over here. There we go. Lovely. Right. And we have. Now, the team did see these being packed in the factory, so we're aware of the order. We have Kingmaker the Second rulebook. Lovely. And this actually has the welcome section, which details the components of the whole package. So you've got a list here at on page 2 of all the components of the whole game. And then we've got, as the little flag down the right hand side says, Kingmaker 2 rulebook. Lovely. Ooh, that's gorgeous. Gorgeous layout. Lovely colours. Lots of pictures. So that's that. With, at the back, a short history of the Wars of the Roses, written by my friend Graham Evans, who's chair of the Northamptonshire Battlefield Society. So thank you very much for that, Graham. That looks really wonderful. And we have lots of rule books because we have lots of modes of playing. We have the solo challenge. This is being done by Steve Froud, as I mentioned, and it uses the classic game rules, but these are specifically for solo play. So it uses a bot. So it just tells you how to set up the bot, how the bot pieces move when it fights. When it doesn't fight, when it runs away, how it calls Parliament, and how the player moves and acts in the solo game, which is slightly different from the normal game. And there's an example set up for the first turn. What you can do here, if you're learning how to play solo, you can set up and run the first turn in accordance with these rules, and then if you like, you can then just continue on from that point to learn how to play the solo version. So there's the solo. There's the credits for the solo as well. That's great. Solo challenge. We have the solo player aid. This is a combat selection box player aid. Here we are. So the idea here is you can lay it flat. So you've got the whole thing on the table. You can see how the bot works out the combats, and on the inside how it selects specific targets. This is a quick player. Once you've read through the rules for solo, you can use just the player aids to remind you of what to do. And we have the classic rules. These are the rules for what used to be called the basic game. I haven't really changed these very much. It does have a completely redrawn map. We'll get to that in a minute. And on this side, so on this side is the classic rules. But if you flip it over, you've then got Extended Classic on the other side. Extended Classic and options. This basically is the old advanced, what used to be called the advanced game. It has the battle board for using individual combats, new cards that you can add in, Plantagenets, the Nobles Killed table, etc. And many options and variants. One that Steve and I were particularly keen to add in was this one, A.5, Arbitration, which is an optional rule from Andrew McNeil's original edition. And this one says, if there's eventualities that aren't covered in the rules, you can have any disputes resolved by the office which is most closely associated with that particular dispute, or alternatively by the King's faction. So that hopefully any ambiguities, particularly if you might get any in the using of the options, that can solve the problem. The Divisions and Disasters additional event cards, that's a collection of ones which were in the general magazine, which is now pulled together as a separate pack, which you can add in as a block. And there's some space for notes at the end. And there we go. That's the Extended Classic and the Classic. We have, this keeps coming. Here we have the Guide to King Making. So we recommend that new players to Kingmaker, and indeed players who are new to Kingmaker 2, read the guide to Kingmaking first, because this actually tells you, with examples, how to set up and play Kingmaker 2, with hints for play on the back as well. So that's your starting position if you're getting into Kingmaker 2, the one that I designed. And we have also a number of additional player aids. Look at this. We have got a player aid. These are just player aids for a normal game. For both the Kingmaker 2 and the classic game. You've got prestige point reminders, you've got terrain chart, table of odds, and a location of grid references of all the locations on the board. There, so that looks pretty good. That does look pretty good. Good. So we now have punch boards. Let's have a look at this. Punch board. They look rather nice. This noble pieces at the top there. Rather good. And on the back we have fortified noble pieces. So when you pop them out, let's just pop one out. You can see this. Just pop both out. Here we go. Oops. Let's see. Here we have Beaufort on the back. Beaufort in a fortification. Looks rather gorgeous. Let's stick him back in there. It'll probably fall out again, but never mind. And the battle board at the bottom here is the optional battle board for individual combat for the extended classic game. There are also these small faction markers to show on the map who controls what, and down the bottom here we have counters for location of a battle and for location of sieges. If you have a siege, you just pop one of these on and it shows that there is actually a siege underway. That's going to pop back in. Okay. And a second one, which is in fact the other factions. Note, there's 6 faction colours, so you've got 3 on the left there. Sorry, 4 on the left there. Kind of silver, yellow, purple, and blue. Blue coming up onto the top here as well, and orange and kind of lilac, pink. Then this one at the bottom, the whitish one, the greyish one, is actually blank on the back. This one is used on the battle board, because on the battle board you need to be able to flip the counters over and not know who is where in the second rank. And we've also got ships. Oh, look at those lovely ships. I love the ship artwork. It's one of my favourite pieces of artwork. The ship is really good. And here we have the royal pieces: Henry VI, Westminster, Margaret of Anjou, the Yorkists, rather great, and the faction markers. These are stack markers. You can put if you've got a big stack of nobles, you can replace it with this piece on the board and put the nobles themselves on the stack zones on the board, and I'll show you that in a second. And we have the Prestige Victory tile. Whenever this tile is reached in the event deck, put it by the Prestige Victory card. After this tile has been revealed, you can claim a Prestige Victory. That's great. And we also have, thank goodness, the other, as I expected, the other solo challenge player aid. This is the Game Turn Bot player aid, and so you can just refer to this once you know the rules and how the bot awards crown cards as well. So that's loads of stuff. As you can see, if you just look at all this paper that you've got here to support your play of the game. So you have the Kingmaker 2nd rules, you have the solo challenge rules, you have the classic and extended classic rules as well, the lovely guide to Kingmaking, plus you've got two solo challenge players, and you've got 4 player aids for the main game. So that is one heck of a lot of paper in there. So I'm glad, I had to check all this, so I'm very glad to see that it's all here. Now, what else have we got? Well, we have got, this is obviously a stray. This is obviously where you put the count. You can put counters in. It feels like it might be a stray. Have a look at that in a minute. Look. I see. So I know they had a problem with the packing. So now, when they were shipping, what they've done here is, take the board out. There's been a little bit of movement of the cards, but nothing terrible. Looks of it. Just put those away in a minute. You have got, they've put little bits of cardboard in as packing so that they don't move in transit. So we have got these are replacements for the Ziploc bags, okay? So these is where you would put the faction counters. There we go, 7 of those. Just put your faction counters in those. And then I think these are for sealing those bags. Good. So when you finish playing, put the playing pieces away in the envelopes and seal them shut using these peelable stickers. There's an envelope for each colour set and one more for the extra pieces. And for further information, you can have a look at the QR code. That's a good idea, I like that. That's a nice idea. Put that to one side. Then we have got, let's do the board. Let's do the board. Get rid of the pieces. Cardboard. Right, now we have the board. Now, again, I've seen the proofs of this, but I haven't seen the whole thing yet. I'll have to move the box bits out of the way because it's a big board. So we need a lot of space for it. So let's start with Kingmaker the second board. Here we are. Kingmaker the second box. Right, there we have it. So I might actually move the phone a little bit so we can see that a bit more easily. There we go. There's quite a bit of light on there, but I hope you can see the board. And then the stacking zones at the bottom there. There's the army troop strengths on the right hand side. Let's take this off. Let's take this off the stand for a second. Go a bit more. So what have we got here? There's the key. There's Calais on the right hand side. London, the clarified London bits on the map with the roads all controlled by London. Bristol, down to Devon and Cornwall. And all the way swooping across to Shrewsbury, which has also been clarified. Look in there. That's how Shrewsbury looks now. No confusion about where the roads go. And as you can see, there's purple lines, there's regional boundaries, and the white lines are areas within regions. Then at the top, we have the Prestige Point track. Because you need Prestige points to, well, one way of winning the game in K2 is Prestige points. There's space for Chancery and Clamor for Parliament card. And down the right-hand side, we have space for the victory cards, the royal cards, the major battle siege cards, and the city cards. Whereas at the top here, place for the crown deck and the discards and the event deck. So that looks pretty neat. That's one side. Then the other side is the classic game side. So put that here and do the same thing. See if this will work. Apologies for shaking the camera around a bit. Again, extra stacking zones, 6 stacking zones, because you have up to 6 people in the classic game. Notice you've got the regional boundaries are only for the office areas. So Devon and Cornwall is for the guy who controls Devon and Cornwall. The London area, purple line, is for the Castle of the Tower. And each of those areas is more or less like the original game, but redrawn and clarified so you can actually clearly see the joins on each area. But we've kept the bit at the top right here, which is exactly the same as in the original game. We thought that was a nice touch there. And at the top it says Kingmaker Classic, and there's space for the crown deck and event deck. And down the side you only have Chancery and Chancery and city cards. So there's don't need royal cards or major battle siege cards for this. So that is the classic game board. That looks rather splendid. Stick that back on there. But now let's leave that there, because now we're going to look at the cards. A quick look at the cards, and then we're done. Well, the ones that have popped out from the event deck. So this is Embassy. Notice the colours have changed from the original game. We made more distinctive colour, royal purple for the embassies, and this bit here was our new method of saying how you do the odds for victory in the battle, and black appropriately for the killed section. So embassies, mercenaries go home. That's included in the main deck now. Mercenaries go home were included in the main deck. Plague cards, plague grey for plague seems appropriate. Calais plague is in the main K2. You take it out. It says K2 here because that means it's only used in Kingmaker 2. For classic, you take that one out because the original game didn't have plague in Calais. We were immune, for some reason, we were immune to plague in Calais. So plagues, lots of those, as you'd expect. Storms at sea. Again, I just love that picture. The boat is great. Ships take refuge in the nearest port. And here we go. Free move, the completely redesigned, redrawn free move card with the boat picture and the knight on horseback picture as well. Lovely. Like it. And Chancellor may summon Parliament cards. French raids. These are ones which will call people. Pourchaire to Pleshy, Polter Wingfield, etc. Peasant revolts. Quite a lot of, as you'd expect, quite a lot of peasant revolts. And we've had to add in the one new noble, De Vere. He's added in. He does do his bit in ruling the kingdom. De Vere to Hedingham. De Vere to Hedingham. Part of this peasant revolt. Marshal to Malden. Very common. That's one set of event cards. There's another. That's not all of them. There's 140 of these. So the packing works quite nicely. I'm very happy with this particular method of packing, even though very, very few came loose. This works quite well and is much more eco-friendly than the Ziploc bags. So more. Oh look, the bad weather delays attack has got this kind of storm and guns there. It looks rather splendid. Right in Wales, Scots Raid. And then Clamour for Parliament. This is the new card, and when this comes out, you can call Parliament in Kingmaker 2 only. You can call Parliament when the Clamour for Parliament has come out of the event deck. Then we're on to the classic game cards, the Writ of Summons. These are not in Kingmaker 2, but they are in the classic game. You can still have those. There's extended classic version gets those as well. So yeah, quite a lot of good stuff going on there. And this is the whole divisions and disasters. These are the ones which are from the general reworded and clarified rules for all of these. And I figured that these are the ones that are my favourite ones and don't, I think, have too unbalancing an effect. And refuge cards, a few refuge cards as well. Some of you experienced players will know about refuge cards. So that's all that lot. So that's the massive 140 events there. And then we have the Crown deck. Let's just see what we've got in here. I'll start with the other set actually. I think, yes, that's better. This is the first lot of the crown cards. Here we go. So we have got Archbishop of Canterbury, York. This is the feature we've used for showing where extra troops are available to that particular, in this case, archbishopric. And that's what we use commonly for offices as well. Now, all the cards with this symbol carry a prestige point. So the archbishops, if you've got one of these, you get a prestige point. And this number in the top left is the number of calls in the event deck that are associated with that particular crown card. So here, Bishop of Lincoln, you get 10 troops anywhere in the country. Beaufort, and we have the noble cards. All of the locations have got their grid reference on them, which you can see here. Over here, you've got D, and then you've got a number coming down from the bottom or the top. It's a good reference. There's nobles, loads of nobles. There's a new one. There's De Vere. There he is, Earl of Oxford. That's the only new noble we've put in the game, De Vere. Lots of those. The offices, the famous Warden of Cinque Ports. Ships, another ship picture. Can't have enough of those ship pictures. And they all say award to noble with title. To remind you, it has to have a noble with a title. And here, it comes for the tower. Very powerful card, 200 extra troops, but only in the area marked on the card. Marshal of England, he's called 10 times, so he wanders around the country a lot. And then we have a new office, Lord of the Isle of Wight. No calls, no troops, he just gives you a prestige. So he's a kind of representation of generic royal patronage. You can get a prestige from, which may be important in the game. And the Captain of Calais is also in the main game now. Ships. The Michael Ship of Bristol. Change here. If Bristol is neutral, you take the City of Bristol card and award it to the owner of this ship. So this brings the City of Bristol in line with London and York and Norwich in being associated with a crown card directly. And we have the individual titles you can give to untitled nobles. And the Kingmaker 2 town cards all have 10 troops with them. So that's those. That's for Kingmaker 2. And we continue here. Now here we've got more town cards. These are the replacement town cards for Classic with no troops. So we've repeated the cards, but with no troops on them, because you don't use those for Classic. Lieutenant of Line. These are now extended Classic ones. French Aid, Irish Kerns. So that's all the Crown Deck and extensions to the Crown Deck. And then these cards, these extra cards here, are all the what I call the other cards. So victory cards, Royalty Victory, Prestige Victory for 2 players, 3 players on the back, 4 players, and 5 players on the back, showing the number of victory points, prestige points you need. City cards. These are new separate cards for the city, so you can see the prestige that you've got. Otherwise you can't count the prestige very easily, but here you can easily see the prestige across the table and count prestige and record it on the prestige track on the board. And again, City of Bristol, there's 2 of them, one with Kingmaker 2 for 20 troops. Classic, he hasn't got any troops. Major battle on the front, major siege on the back. So if you win a major battle, which is a battle with an office holder on each side, 2 prestige for that, very important. 1 prestige for a major siege. And then we have the royal cards. So we have all the Lancastrians, all the Yorkists, and then Henry VI. And they have the reason for the cards actually is so you can see who they are attached to, and also so you can see how many points they get. So here, Richard Duke of York, if he's uncrowned, he gets 2 points. If he's crowned, if he's a sole king, he has 4. If he's 1 or 2 kings, he gets 3. So you can just flip the card over if he's crowned. Easy to count up the points. And Edmund of the Rutland. Right, and there are also preset faction cards here for 2, 3, 4, and 5 players. They list on them the crown cards that you get when you are that particular faction, so you can easily get started. On the back, it's got a reminder of the sequence of play, so that's quite easy to use. There's loads of those, and finally extended versions of some cards. You've got the other classic towns which weren't in the previous pack, and the old Carriagebrook Castle, that single royal castle which had its own special card, hence there's a special picture. That's a royal castle card. That actually is a representation, reasonably historically accurate, of what Carriagebrook Castle would have looked like in wartime at that period. And then there's extended classic extra cards. King's Pardon is in there. We've got and then we've got some more ordinary crown cards. Landsknechts. Knights of St. John, Bretons. These are renamed. A friend of mine who's a good researcher into the period has helped me to rename most of them. We have Flemish crossbowmen before, but we've got Swiss Lances, Flemish crossbowmen, Flemish handgunners, Knights of St. John, Breton men-at-arms, Scots archers and Scottish exiles, and a company of Burgundian crossbowmen. You can't not have the most powerful one. So that is all the cards. So there we are. I think that has covered... Oh, except that, of course, we get 2 dice. Oh, they're quite nice, chunky 16mm dice, I think. Very nice. And the box, inside the box itself, it's got an insert in it, so you can actually get rid of those. You could, I think, reuse these things and put them around the cards, or you can just stack them in this insert here, or take the insert out and put them in bags. Just like that. And there we have that. So, well, I'm going to stop there. I hope that gives you an idea of what you get in the Kingmaker package, the full bit. So with that, this is Alan Paul signing off from my Kingmaker unboxing. Thank you very much for listening and watching.